What's going on, Sens fans? Welcome back to another post-game coverage, and it's been a while since we've done one of these, it feels like. I mean, it's only been a couple days. We missed the last two games. I didn't have power, and something came up after the last one. So it's good to be back. Not the best game to be coming back to. Wish I could have been able to watch the game against Calgary for sure, but yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, we don't have a guest tonight. That's why.
That's
the only
biggest
reason,
issue.
obviously. I thought that was a much more frustrating game to watch than last night. But man, I had the feeling going into tonight that the Canadiens were going to be hungry. They were still 0-2 with the new coach.
Oh yeah.
So, and Ottawa was kind of the reason that Julien was fired. So you knew that they were going to come out flying. And I mean, they played a great game. No, don't get me wrong, but it was 3-1 with an empty net, not blown out of the water, and it just seems like it was a lot worse than that based on the second period, but we can get into that, I guess, later. But just kind of a meh game. I mean, it's not them getting blown out 6-1 again, so it's steps, and I mean, Joey Daccord looked fantastic. So
he did. That's one of the biggest positives out of tonight was Joey Daccord.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I just quickly looked at Twitter after the game because I don't expect it to be overly positive. But I saw, some people saying like this is the worst game in history, or not in history, sorry, in this season. And I don't agree with that at all. I think they had their chances, 2 posts, Watson there at the end. If Watson puts that in, it's a different game.
Yeah.
Just Montreal, again, give credit to them. They clogged up the middle of the ice a lot, and the Sens weren't able to transition like they were in the last games against them.
Yeah, exactly. And real quick, before we get into this game, we should kind of go over the last two.
Yeah, sure.
Just before we get in too deep. I don't want to go too deep into either of these.
Yeah, no.
The 6-3 loss was a pretty rough one.
I say that was a lot worse than tonight.
Yeah, there's no way that you can compare tonight to that game at all.
No, yeah.
We didn't even deserve that to be a 3-goal game.
No, definitely
there
not.
was just nothing rolling that night.
I mean, that one was good because the power play was clicking. I think the power play came to life in that one, but then that gets doused tonight, except for the first good one. But I thought that second game against Calgary was kind of the same thing in Montreal tonight. Like Calgary had to come out and respond.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, the game that you missed there, which we can talk a bit more about, was just so fun to watch. Kind of a similar first period to this one. Not many chances either way, but the pucks were going in, and Price was okay tonight. I think he wasn't standing on his head because they didn't have a ton of chances, but
yeah,
we
do
have
really
to mention
calm tonight.
Yeah, he did look very calm, which is when he's at his best, I think. And what we do have to mention is, unfortunately, it was snapped tonight, but Drake Batherson made Sens history last night against the Flames. He was the I guess the fourth player, but he tied Alfredson, Heatley, and Spezza, who each had separate 6-game goal streaks, and Drake Batherson is now in that conversation as well.
Yeah.
It was broken tonight, but man, you don't realize how rare that is for any team. I was looking at the all-time leaders, and it's big names up there with more than 6. So
yeah,
really good for him.
Drake Batherson is on that list, and you got Teemu Solani twice in the same season.
And and I mean, Batherson might have had the best 2 chances tonight for the team that didn't go in. He hit the post early on in the first.
Yep.
And then he had that one in the second. So it wasn't like he wasn't all over the place, and he was close. Just didn't go in, but he's been scoring everything.
Yeah, and he even had a multi-goal game against Calgary. So it was against Calgary, and he just it makes up for it. He can miss a game here and there from now on, I guess.
Yeah, no, and I mean. The offense was a little bit dry tonight, just because they didn't get anything from the Canadiens, so it's tough to generate stuff. And I mean, what the Sens have been really good at this year is on the cycle, just getting stuff generated, and they didn't really do that tonight. I will say the last few games, Tkachuk has been with Tierney and Brown, and they got to get away from that. I think Norris looks great with Stützle and Batherson, but.
See, I was thinking about this during the game. Brady Tkachuk can make plays out of nothing in front of the net, but somebody's got to be able to get it to the net.
Exactly.
Somebody has to be able to create offense on that line.
I liked they didn't flip it, but in the rest of the third period, they sat Haley, so he didn't play the rest, and they were just kind of rolling through the left wingers there, and they put Brady with Dadonov and White, and I'd really like to see that because then you reunite Nick Paul, Brown, and Tierney, and that line's going to be great for you, right? And they were really good.
That line's always buzzing.
Exactly. So I just think his creativity is compromised a little bit, and Norris was a little bit more quiet today as well, and he struggled without Kachuk, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's not much to say other. We got to talk about that second period.
Yeah. So Eric Branson lost us this game. I'm not going to say that with confidence because DJ Smith shouldn't have put him and Tierney out after being on for 2 minutes.
No.
But Eric Branson, so the play started off with a flop on the icing. Like, he just skated to the neutral zone and didn't cross the red line and iced it.
It's a lazy play.
Very, very lazy play. And he's on the ice for almost 2 minutes at this point. And then defensive zone can't change. And then right off the draw, Branstrom gets the high stick. It was, I feel like it was sold a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, his stick was up there. I thought he sold it like he's on the ice the whole time. Like, they got the penalty. You're good. So, but that was just, they said on the broadcast too, just a result of being tired, and then
that's exactly what it
power
is.
Play.
And then they get on the power play, score a goal, and as Brendan Gallagher scores the goal, but Eric Branson gets his stick up on Brendan Gallagher.
So
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, we need to talk about not the fact that he got a high stick up on Gallagher after the puck was in, another lazy play.
Yeah,
but it's the fact that he was out there for a 2-minute shift after an icing, it was his fault, the icing. So he's trapped out there. They get a penalty. It's an opportunity to change, get someone else on the ice. And DJ Smith makes the worst decision he's made all season, and he keeps him out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. If, the only time it makes sense is if you're Thomas Chabot, and that was he has a long shift, and then you get a power play.
Yeah.
And then you put him out, which has happened before, and DJ hasn't done that.
Yeah,
all he's done is just put the second unit out there. So I'm a little not hesitant, but I feel like DJ wasn't the one who told him to go back out there, because special teams is typically run by assistant coaches.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of line changes are too. Like, there's a D coach and a forward coach. I believe the D coach is Jack Capuano. I'm not 100% sure which one.
I believe so. I think you're right. Yeah.
So I mean, I remember when you play and you have 3 coaches, at least the defense coach tells you when to change and who to go out there pretty much. So I'm not going to say that was on DJ, but the entire coaching staff, like, how does no one realize that this guy was out there for a 2-minute shift and then he's out there again? And not only is he out there on that penalty kill, he fails to clear it on that penalty kill. Like, it's just the stars aligned. And I mean, credit to Good Branson. He's been really good. Not really good, just solid the last few games, I thought.
I agree. I think he's been steady for what he is.
Right. But this was just like 5 games rolled into one worth of mistakes. Not even one game, just like 1 5-minute stretch. It was brutal.
Not even 5 minutes, like 30 seconds is that it all happened.
And he caught, like, you're right, he cost us the game because there was 2 goals on his bonehead plays. So man, that's what's frustrating, I think. And I'm gonna save everyone the trouble who's watching right now. He's not gonna sit. He won't be, he's gonna be in the lineup next game, and that's he
didn't miss one shift.
No.
They got the 2 power play goals based on the first Branstrom penalty and then his double minor.
Yeah.
At that point, so halfway through the game, he had 8 minutes and 56 seconds. I made sure I wrote it down. He doubled it.
Yeah.
So he didn't skip a beat. He played 7 minutes and about 25 seconds.
He played
the second half of the game.
He played 25 seconds shorthanded, and it was in the back of the net, and he took a 4-minute penalty on it.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and say someone else should be on the penalty kill because they put Shabbat out when Goodbranson was in the box and Shabbat gave it away too. So
yeah,
you know,
Zub and Zaitsev, even though they're both right defensemen, put Zub and Zaitsev on. I just said his name twice differently in about 5 seconds, but
I think it's Zub, right?
I don't know really.
Okay.
Most of the time I call him Zub, but I guess I let a Zub slid out.
Regardless, he's a god. He was their best defenseman tonight.
Oh, hands down.
I thought Shabbat had a good third period. People have been piling on him, but he was driving a lot of play in the third period when there wasn't much open in the middle of the ice.
Yeah.
I mean, the goal scoring is nice from Zub, but like he's just so solid defensively. But he had the second least amount of minutes from defensemen.
I know, and like he's one of the most noticeable responsibly.
Right, and it's become this thing like he's now in the lineup all the time, but since he's been in, he hasn't come out once.
Yeah.
So that's just been a given now, but he's got to start getting more responsibility. And I mean, I think Zaitsev's play has really helped his cause. I think Zub would get more time up there, but there's no reason that Goodbranson should be playing more than Zub, at least next game. And like next game, there's no reason for that. It's just that's what's frustrating to watch, and it's back to what it was at the start of the year. You know, just feels like poor coaching decisions and.
Yep, and like I just can't get over it. Like I really hope DJ Smith watches this stream and listens to this because Eric Goodbranson made one of the worst individual mistakes in the matter of 2 minutes that I think I have ever seen, other than Patrick Stepan. Yeah,
and
Eric Goodbranson, I didn't notice why he got scratched. Like, I can't think of a reason why he got scratched the last game.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Goodbranson is a young defenseman who wants to play on the right side, that DJ Smith will not play him on the right side.
Yeah, he came out and said that this week, didn't he?
You got to you got to hold your veterans accountable. Mm-hmm. You can't just attack the young kid because he's a young kid and he's not going to, like, I don't know if he's not going to stand up to you, but that's just not acceptable.
And look, he's held 2 veterans accountable. Like, we've come a long way with the defensive pairings. It's just taken a long time. Coburn and Josh Brown sit on the regular now. Goodbranson seemed to always be that mainstay there. And look, I'm not going to – the only replacement, let's be real, is Willanen, right?
Yep.
So that's a complete shift. And would that be ideal? Yes. But Willanen has not been great.
No, he hasn't. We all want him to be, but he hasn't.
Because it's a fan thing. You cheer for the offensive defensemen and the young guys. And Willan is not even that young. I think Zub is younger than him. But, you know, it's just you can't. I'm really curious. I would be shocked if someone from the media in the post game doesn't ask DJ about that, because that was the reason this game got lost.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that.
And I am excited, but I'm also not, because if DJ comes out and says, "Oh," like he just kind of shrugs it off, like I don't know what's going to happen. He's been hot and cold, I think, with these media things. So I don't know. That's a tough way. Not that they deserve to win this game, I think, but you talk about. I think the Canadiens for the last 2 games just said, you know, oh, it's we gave them everything that they got. And I think teams have been saying that during this stretch for Ottawa, but tonight, like, Goodbranson was legitimately an example of them giving them, chances. So that's not fun to see.
Even besides that, like, I'm all for Team Goodbranson on this team. Like, I think he does have a spot on the third pair of this team. Yep. But all night, just so many turnovers. Actually, I want to see how many giveaways he had. Only registered 3 officially, but I promise you it's more than that.
Well, the icings don't count as giveaways, really, I don't think.
Well, true. But, like, there was a minute 22 left when I was watching the game, and Eric Goodbranson was on the ice, and Tim Stützle passed it up to him because he fell, and he picked it up.
Yeah.
And Goodbranson looked at Stützle, who had 3 Montreal players around him 5 feet ahead of him, passed it up there, and just almost iced it.
It was one of those, the end of the game, though, because if you're Goodbranson, you know you're supposed to get off the ice there, and like the puck kept coming back to him. It kept following around there at the end. That's tough because you want to whistle, and you're trying to get it deep so you can get a change.
Yeah.
They just never got set in the last minute, which is tough, and they still had a couple chances. But
yeah, there were lots of better opportunities for a pass there for Goodbranson to
Yeah.
make because he had no pressure on him either. Like,
I know.
it was
Now,
bad.
I'm not gonna. I tweeted this too. Like Goodbranson, he goofed. Like he should be responsible for those 2 goals, and he is. But the team wasn't playing well until I think the third, and even in the third, it wasn't great.
Yeah, like even like offense was not there tonight.
No.
Like the third period, there were 9 shots total, like between both teams.
This would have been an absolute blowout if Decor didn't stand on his head in the first period,
Yeah.
and if he was solid for the rest of the game. It sucks that he couldn't have gotten a win for that performance, but
yeah,
he looks good. That's promising.
That is really promising because that's a lethal offense team.
Yeah,
they're not really on their game right now, but that has a potential to be a very offensive team.
So also though, you weren't able to watch the last game, but Michael Pekka was in for Haley. We got to talk about that too, because that fourth line with Anisimov, Pekka, and Haley, Anisimov, Pekka, and Watson was fast. Like they had speed on the wings, and Pekka, like he's a small guy, but it's the old philosophy versus the new philosophy. Like I'd rather have a small guy who is good with the puck on his stick and is actually in the right spots every now and then than Michael Haley. And like I'm all for if the rest of the young guys like having Haley in the lineup, then sure, keep him in.
Yeah.
But if you're just doing that to like protect him specifically against Montreal, I don't think there was a less effective player out there tonight. Haley had 1 credited hit in 8 shifts. How is that? And it's not like he has the puck on his stick the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Like find a way to hit someone, and that's your job.
Like especially, I don't remember what the situation was, and it was a clean hit, and I don't know who it was on, but Romanov with who was it, Brandstrom?
Yeah, it was Brandstrom.
Yeah, like it was a clean hit and all, but do something. Like,
I know. Yeah,
you can't just let Romanov, who is a rookie, throw around your team like that.
No, I agree, and it was the fourth line on the ice too. So it's just I don't understand why Haley has to come in. Now, I think Dzingel will be in next game, hopefully.
100%. And that answers this question.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious he's going to be Haley. I hope, because that really changes the lineup. And I think the forward lines need a bit of a shakeup.
Yeah.
I think the only untouchable is Stützle and Batherson. I don't think you touch those 2. The rest, and then I guess the fourth line, you wouldn't move up too much. But the rest of the top 9.
I don't even know what you change, because Colin White's been on fire lately. I mean, one was an empty netter last night.
Yeah.
But like that Paul Dadonov White line, they haven't been playing up to standard, but they played so well. How do you split them up? Like,
well, they have played well, but I'd say in the last 5 games they haven't, like since the Toronto game, honestly, the comeback, they haven't really done anything. White has been on fire recently, but he scored 2 goals in a blowout against Calgary, the last 2 goals.
Yeah.
And then he got an empty netter, and then he scored in the 6-3 loss on Saturday.
Yeah.
That was a nice one on the power play. And then he got an empty netter. So it's not like he's been right when it counts, I guess. Looking at Batherson, that's what he's been doing.
Yeah.
But this is what I would do with the lines. I got it already in my head. So I'd go first line, I'd go Tkachuk, Norris, and Dadonov.
Yep.
And then I'd go Stützle, White, and Batherson, and then Tierney, Paul, and Brown.
Yeah.
And then you can throw Dzingel on that fourth line when he comes in, and then you have 4 lines that you can just roll.
Yeah, that's true.
And you could tell tonight. You could tell tonight Brady Tkachuk was tired.
Yeah, I mean,
20 minutes of ice time.
Yeah, 20 minutes, 38 seconds. And
yeah,
I love the top 6 in ice time right here for forwards. You got Brady, Stützle, Batherson, and then Dadonov, Norris, Brown.
Yeah.
Like, perfect.
That's what you want.
And then Colin White Norris right there with them at 16 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I really like Norris's 2-way game. He got some penalty kill time tonight, which is good.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say DJ has been ruining this team.
Yeah.
It just stems from other issues. I mean, you just hope that they're not buying too much into the philosophy. Like there's been a lot of talk, or there had been a lot of talk that Toronto, their young guys, their stars needed more protection out there, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I just hope that that's not what the philosophy is. We both said that we've liked Austin Watson. He's an effective player. He actually had a pretty good game tonight.
He did. He had a really good game, I think.
Nice blocks, a couple of nice blocks. He was good on the penalty kill when he was on there. it's just the insertion of Michael Haley in the lineup just makes you instantly a least competitive team or a less competitive team.
Yeah.
And at that point, you might as well just put 7 defensemen out.
Yeah, like throw Wolanin in there.
Right. So that's what's frustrating. And, they've been on this nice streak, but they're now 2-2 in their last 4 games. They've gone, win, loss, win, loss.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do with Calgary, because that is a team that, I expect the Sens to be able to take advantage of, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. Point. Yeah. Especially, I don't know what the update currently is on Markstrom, but I mean, David Riddick's been real shaky lately, so
I would expect Markstrom in one of the 2 games that they play them in, at least. So yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention was face-offs tonight. Josh Norris 60%, Chris Tierney 69%. Awesome. Tierney
looked good tonight on the draw.
Tierney looked really good tonight. Nick Paul 60% on 10, and Anisimov 80%. We have Colin White 2 for 8 at 25%.
Yep.
But other than that, like, what's there to complain about in the center depth? Other than we need somebody who can drive play.
Yeah, I think that would be the one thing, and I guess the hope is that Stützle will get there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, sorry, I'm just going through their media availability. I'm really curious what DJ said.
Yeah.
I hope he was asked.
Yeah. And that's something that you almost don't even want to ask him, because you don't want to know the answer.
But you have to.
Yeah, exactly. Another good part about this game that we kind of scraped over, Joey Decord. Like,
we got to talk about him, yeah.
He was lights out all game. And, like, I can't get over it. He made a little bit of a fool of himself in his first game when he fell. Back in the 18-19 season.
Remember that.
And he laughed it off. Like, everybody laughed it off, whatever. But he made a great debut for his starting tonight.
Yeah, no, he's I mean, I'd rather have him back there than Hogberg.
Yeah, me too.
Right? How much different would this season be if it was Decord playing like that every time he backed up Murray? You know?
Really though.
And someone asked, what do we do if the goalie of the future is here now? Because I think Decord's always been the guy.
Yeah.
That they've identified. He's only 24?
24, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, he's young. So, and I mean, goalies like Matt Murray's only 26, so you never know with goalies. But yeah, I think it couldn't have gone. I mean, a win would have been the best scenario for him, but that's exactly what you need from him. He was the best player on the Sens tonight.
Yeah, he was. And I'm just seeing a quote here from him. TSN 1200 just tweeted out, Joey Decord, I think I've had Carey Price's t-shirt jersey since I was a kid. He's an idol of mine. Any chance to play against him is special. Hope we beat him next time, though.
Yeah, he seems like a fun guy.
He really does. He's not as sporadic like Hogberg is, but he really gives me Hasek vibes. Like, just he's so athletic. Like, he's just, I don't know. Like, he's not doing the sprawling snow angels or whatever. But...
Yeah. He also doesn't seem very big, but he's listed at 6'2", which is strange.
Yeah, he bends over quite a bit in the net.
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at the availability. It doesn't appear that DJ was asked about it.
Wow. Which
is a little bit concerning. Yeah. I don't understand. Wow.
Yeah, that's no good.
Anyways, we don't have to get hung up on that, but just a little frustrating.
Definitely should be addressed, for sure.
Also, yeah, the Sens just tweeted out, too, the goal streak ended for Batherson, but his point streak continued.
Yeah, so I think he got the
assist. He's on a... Not sure what.
8, maybe I believe.
8 games. It's not bad.
Not too bad for someone who was kind of a borderline 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I always say he was the forgotten prospect last year because Norris just was a different animal, and we were all excited about that. And then everyone's thinking about, who are they going to get? 2 top 5 picks, pretty much. And then you think of Brandstrom, but Batherson was definitely the forgotten one, and he's been the most impressive player, I think, other than Tkachuk up front.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, definitely the most breakthrough player.
Yeah, for sure. So I just think moving forward, going into the game against Calgary, you gotta get back to what they did in like last night, which isn't far off because they did it and it was against Calgary. They just need to. They really need to get Kachuk some better line mates.
Yeah, they do. Because
nothing
like
against Connor Brown and Tierney, but they're better suited with Paul. I think that Paul, White, and Dadonov experiment is over.
Yeah, and like that line proved to be very well last year.
Mm-hmm.
So
they were, yeah. I mean, and the Paul, White, and Dadonov were the best line for this team for a number. Like during those losing games and stuff, they were by far the best team or best line. So
yeah,
I mean. It did look like Mike Riley got shaken up, so I wouldn't be shocked if he's kind of out for a little bit.
Yeah, I tweeted that out as well. He decked Nick Suzuki, like just bear hugged him and just wrestled him to the ground. But then they both go sliding into the boards, and Nick Suzuki looked a little bit shaken up too, but he was out there later on. But Mike Riley, he went his right shoulder right into the boards, and he held it skating off the ice. So could be a chance for Wolanin to slot in. So.
Yeah, I hope so. It'd be good to see him, and I think he knows that there's not much room on this team on the left side moving up or moving forward with Sanderson coming. Like he's not oblivious to that, so we'll see how he does.
Yeah, and there was a comment about 10 minutes ago. Hard for Wolanin to get his game back when he's only played like 8 games in 2 years. Like, bang on. He hasn't. It would be really good. I don't know if he's on a one-way or a two-way contract, but it'd be really good to get him some reps in the AHL just so he can play hockey. Is he on a one-way?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, he would get claimed. So
the best way this season to realize if people are on a one-way or a two-way is if they keep going back and forth from the taxi squad.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Sens are getting clowned because it's the Sens, but every team does it. So they've been moving Brandstrom back up and down just based on his two-way deal so they can save a little bit of money.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but I mean, every team does it, and I'm not gonna get all hung up about it.
But that's why I don't know if I've seen another team do it just day by day. If you're not playing today, you're not getting paid.
I've seen. I can't even think about it. I think Montreal has been doing it. I could be wrong, but if you look at the transactions this year, I saw somewhere like it's just miles higher.
Yeah, fair enough.
The whole taxi squad experiment was sold as something to be able to have more players with you on road trips.
Yeah.
But I think it's to save teams money when you don't have enough room for your players. So
yeah, that's true. And that would look bad if they come out and said it like that. So that could be it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can get into our third stars here if you want.
Sure. Okay. This one's tough.
It is.
I've got 2. I just need a third. Yeah, okay, I got him. I'm going to go third star Austin Watson.
Yep.
Just, I love this guy. He's just a meme. And
he
the
really
boys seem to love him. He lays out to block shots.
He's like the definition of a sicko.
He honestly is. He embodies the Sens sicko mentality. And I feel like he doesn't get enough love. I think he'd be a fan favorite if this was like a competitive team and not a basement team where you want to see the kids play. But he gets lumped in with those vets that were brought in, and that's a little unfortunate because I really like him. And perfect fourth line right winger. Next, my second star is going to be Artem Zub.
Yep.
Just great goal. The patience he showed. You beat Carey Price any day of the week. Then, any day of the week, someone will call you an elite player. So,
yeah.
Great play by him, and he just looks so solid. He needs more ice time. We've been saying this for a month, I feel like, but it'll come. And you can now picture him as part of the core moving forward, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my first star, I got to go Joey Decord.
Yep.
He kept it. He's the reason it was an empty net game, That
really
first period, he made great saves. I thought he got hurt in the second. He looked like he was laboring a little bit.
Yeah, he took quite the hit.
Yeah, but he didn't look like he skipped a beat, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And maybe on the Petrie goal could have had that, but man, Petrie's beating goalies like that all the time, so
yeah,
hard to blame him.
It's hard to blame him after that series of events too. Like it's hard to point any fingers other than Nick Branson.
Yeah. So when we talk about save percentage, he had a 938. So any day of the week, take that. But those are my 3.
He's got a career 1.00 save percentage and 0 goals against on 5-on-5.
There you go.
So he's played in 5 NHL games now. I think he's only started 2.
Yeah.
But that's not bad. Like
No.
starting 2 games and like coming in.
And I mean, your backup has to also be able to come in when your starter's been bad. So
Yeah.
he did that, and good on him.
Yeah,
He's done
100%.
that, I guess.
So yeah, I'll give my third. You stole mine. I wanted to give it to Austin Watson. And I didn't
There's
think
not
you
tons
would.
of standouts tonight.
No, there really isn't. For the sake of where the expectations were versus where they played, I'm gonna give my third star to Artem Anisimov. Actually,
Good one.
this
Yeah.
is
He was
probably something I never thought I'd hear myself say again. But he made a really good defensive play in the first. He skated back on a 2-on-1 and got the puck, and I was just dazzled. And I was like, okay, sure, like that was a nice play. He showed some speed there, but then just the rest of the game, like you said, that fourth line was just so quick, and they were moving.
Yep.
And Anisimov and Tkachuk played together quite a few times, and it might have just been in the transition between fourth to first line. But I did notice them together on the ice quite a bit, and he was like helping Tkachuk set up a little bit. So I don't know if something's starting to come back for Artie, but I don't know.
How great would it be if the Artie party gets going again?
That would be good, because I think I want to see here.
I think he's got like this year left.
Yeah, he does have this year left on his contract. But how long ago was he actually like producing?
He had like 15 goals last year, I think.
Yeah, he had 15 goals last year here in Ottawa, but then like 40 points the year before in Chicago. Like, could you imagine if Artem Anisimov was a 40-point guy right now on this team?
No, I mean, I was looking at highlights for some reason. I came across them, and it wasn't 2 years ago when they traded Zach Smith for him, I think.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, and a couple years before, he played in between Patrick Kane and that's a good one. He played in between Patrick Kane and Artemi Panarin.
Oh yeah,
so that'll help. But I mean, if he could play with 2 skilled players, he's kind of doing that with Stützle and Batherson. Not that it's the same too, but it works.
Yeah, like almost a career 30 to 40-point guy. He was everywhere too. So I don't know. I don't think life is dead in Artem Anisimov, but it just might be here. So I guess we'll see where it goes. Tonight was a good game, and if he can play like this, he deserves a spot in the lineup
for sure.
And then it's hard to give my second star to anybody else, but I got to give it to Austin Watson. Like, he just plays with so much heart, and it's crazy to see that he has 3 years left on his contract. Like, I feel like he's gone at the end of the season. Like, I feel like he's just not the same way that he came up through our system or anything like Boro did, but he, to me, feels like a Boro. Like, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I really want to keep him around, but I don't really care if he leaves. But like, I want him to stay. Like, the way he's been playing, 100%.
Yeah, he's like Connor Brown in the sense that he brings the same game every single night.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't ask for much more out of a fourth line left winger or right winger. Sorry, and he almost scored. He almost tied the game. He hit the post.
I know.
It's crazy.
It was a nice shot too.
Yeah, like deceptive release, quick release. So, I mean, he hasn't scored since like the third game of the year, but that's neither here nor there. He's doing his job. So
yeah,
I like that pick.
That's not what he's here to do. I'm not going to knock him for not getting points.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And then first star, you got to give it to Joey.
Yeah.
It's incredible to see that so many people were skeptical about giving him a chance, and look what he just did to you. He just made everybody look like an idiot for not giving him a chance.
Well, you get a little shaky when there's a rookie goalie in net. But
100%.
And it's disappointing because you'd think the players want to get a win for him, which would kind of match what the Canadiens were doing for their coaching staff, but wasn't the story tonight. And I mean, if the Habs want to take this 3-1 win and build off it, that's good for them. But they weren't. I don't know if anyone saw, but one of the reporters for the Flames wrote that they're not taking advantage of the free bingo space.
Yeah.
And that caused a lot of hoopla with not just Ottawa people, but like Gord Miller weighed in and Darren Dreger. Like, the Sens are starting to get respect, and you just kind of hope that they would bring a better game tonight. It was a bit of a lull, I guess, compared to the last ones. So
and just no life in the team. And I mean, this is the 7th game in 11 days, I think. So like they're tired and everything, but it's a long season and it's a short season. So
exactly. Yeah. It does definitely feels long, but it hasn't even been on for 2 months yet, which is crazy to think about.
So yeah, this is a pretty easy one.
I'm not going to say the guy. I'm just going to say the coaching staff in general. Just they're not. I saw someone saying, on a back-to-back night, you got to make the lineup have more tempo, pretty much, right? And putting Brandstrom in does that over Coburn. That's great. But
Brandstrom didn't play a whole lot in the third period.
No, and he didn't have a fantastic game either. Like he struggled a little bit. He got hit. He was getting hit a lot. I noticed that.
Yeah,
so
he was
being very physical with him. But man, the Michael Haley experiment, I would be A-okay never seeing that guy play hockey again. I don't know why he's still. This is his third game.
Yeah.
It's just useless. It makes other players. I said I like it because it puts your top guys out there more.
Yeah.
Which while it does that, it handcuffs that whole fourth line, which last night looked fantastic.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying. And unfortunately, I missed the game, but a lot of people said Pekka was keeping up last night.
They were the fourth line. I'm trying to remember if it was. Did Pekka play Saturday? Or
yes.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, so in one of those games, anyways, the fourth line was the best line on the ice for the Sens.
That was definitely the game against Calgary because I don't remember it being like that because I did watch the last one, but.
Okay, yeah. So, and with Haley there, he's just. I can't fathom the fact that he has one hit. He's a literal plug, literally a plug, and I don't know. You just can't. You can't justify putting him in the lineup anymore. I don't think it just handcuffs everyone.
Yeah, and I'll go to the other obvious answer and say Goodbranson. Yeah. And I'm not going to say Goodbranson for all the reasons that I did already because that's just repetitive and whatnot. But because he wears an A on his chest.
It's a good one.
That's not a leadership's game.
No, it's lazy.
And I will give a shout out to Everyday Sens because he's the first one that pointed this out that I saw. But that's not what a leader does. Like that 2-minute span that he cost us those 2 goals, you can't do that at all.
No, I know. And I mean, okay, just I don't want to stop you, but like we don't, and especially this year more than anything, we have zero idea what's going on in the room.
Yeah.
So, I would assume if Goodbranson's getting that A, like he seems like a very well-spoken guy, and I'm sure he's very vocal with the players in the room. I would assume he's standing up right away and be like, boys, I effed up. That's on me. My bad.
I really hope he does.
If he's not, that's a major problem. But, the thing with the veteran guys and the locker room presence and everything, it's that they're able to, their voice is heard if they're respected as a player. And I honestly think Goodbranson's done enough for this team.
I agree.
He's not a complete liability.
Yeah.
He just gets piled on, and he's the new Cody Ceci, but he's much better than Cody Ceci was. Yeah. So I think we can separate that. But the A on the chest does matter, though.
Yeah, and
more than people think.
I did see. I can't find it. I don't even know who it was. Never mind. But yeah, like we don't know what goes on in the locker room.
No,
and
we have no idea.
Yeah. So and. He 100% probably did. Like, he seems like a really down-to-earth guy. He probably said, that's on me, boys. Like, there's nothing else I can do about it. Like, I can't go back and fix it now.
And if he didn't, like, the coaches probably did. And if they didn't, then, the top guys, like the young guys, aren't idiots. Like, they are aware that he messed up there. So, it just felt like when it, the saying, when it rains, it pours. That's how it felt in a span of 3 minutes for Eric Goodbranson.
Yeah, 100%.
So a tough night for him.
Yeah, but I did want to mention that with the letter on his chest. So
that was good.
That's all I've got for tonight. Do you have anything else?
I do not. Yeah, that's
all right. Well, thank you everybody for coming to watch. This has been a very good welcome back after a few games that we missed. But yeah, we'll see you on Thursday night, I think, against Calgary. So
back on the West Coast.
Back on the West Coast.
Let's go.
Have your naps and have your coffees. But yeah, thanks for watching.